Society tells you that if you're broke, you're worthless, and that's a lie. Let's talk about why being low on money doesn't mean you're a loser. People assume that financial struggles equals failure. I've always disliked that about society, and I grew up around trust fund baby kids that never had to work a day in their life, ever. And they always made me feel bad. I was the kid that was from across the tracks, is what they used to say back then. I was the one kid that lived across the railroad tracks that went to their school, and they always made fun of me for my clothes, for things that were ridiculous that they all had that I didn't. And I didn't know it really mattered to me until then, but it made me feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad if you're struggling financially. We all struggle financially sooner or later. It just happens in life. And people like them that are lucky, that are born with a golden spoon in their mouth when they're here, they just don't understand. They are looking through a false sense of reality. So I don't want you to feel bad if you're struggling financially. Your bank account doesn't equal your worth. Just remember that. A lot of times, the times we live in now, social media flaunts riches and wealth and people enjoying what looks like a fantastic life that they live, and they get to do all these different things that we don't. For me, that's either false or it could be true in some cases, but we don't see what it took for them to get there. Were they born with it, like those kids that I used to know? Or did they work their ass off and spent years doing it and then all of a sudden pop up on social media and says, oh, I did this only in a couple of weeks? A lot of times we see the highlight reel. We don't see what's behind the real story. Just like television shows are not real. They're fiction. We don't see what's behind the scenes. It's written by somebody that we don't even see. Don't let social media and things influence you to the point where you feel like you're losing out, because you're not. It's all just a false front. Back when I was growing up, there used to be a rock song on the radio back then by The Who, and it was called Eminence Front. I used to hear that, and I used to think about the words the guy who wrote it were saying, and I look at the red carpet out in Hollywood, and I look at social media, and I look at all these different things on television and the computer, and I think, that's what it is. It's an eminence front. It's a front. It's a put on. It's not real. I see many people out here in the workforce today that are struggling, and it makes them feel like they're a loser because they don't have this or that. They don't have a $500 watch, or they don't have a business that's making millions of dollars, or they don't have a yacht. All this thing we see on social media and TV, forget it. It's just a show. That's all it is. It's just a show to make us feel like that's what we want. How do they know what we want? I don't want all that. And if you live long enough, you'll realize you're not going to want all that stuff either. It's a bunch of fluff. Money affects opportunities, but it doesn't affect the value of you as a person. Your character, your skills, and your persistence matter more than a temporary financial setback. There's a lot of people out there that are going through struggles right now, and there's a lot of successful people out there that started with nothing. And when I think about it, when I got out of high school, I didn't have a clue about what I was going to do, and all I knew was how to go to work for somebody else. So that's what I did. I just started working. And we all start somewhere. We all don't realize where we want to be until we start doing things. Money can come and go, but your value as a person is permanent. So just work on your skills and your talents. Be persistent in where you want to go and where you want to get to, and focus on that. Don't focus on the fact that you're not in this crowd or that crowd, because sometimes the crowds I see that have everything, I take a closer look, and I'm not so sure I want to be in that crowd, because I look at the people, the ones that I respect the most are ones that came from dirt poor beginnings and had to work for it and work hard for it. I've known a couple of those guys, and they're the ones that I really respect and admire more than I do people that are born into wealth, and it's just everything is waiting for them. The one thing we need to do is stop comparing ourselves to others, because their situation is different than ours. Their situation may be something that, like I said before, those kids were born into wealth, they had it easy. Well, they don't know what our situation is. They don't know what choices we've had to make compared to theirs. And when they look down on us for not having, it's wrong. It's that just shows me what kind of people they are. I have learned so much in my journey through life that I have learned the hard way not to judge people by what they have or don't have. I judge them more on how they act, what their character is like. Everybody's in a different situation. You're in a different situation than me. They might be in a different situation where opportunities came to them that don't come to us. The main thing we can do is don't compare ourselves to people that have everything, and just work on ourselves and our skills and abilities and focus on where we want to get to. Don't let it affect how we feel about ourselves as far as winning or losing. No money is just a phrase. It's just a temporary condition. When I was going to school, when I was young, and like I said earlier, they called me the kid from across the tracks. They used to make fun of my clothes, and my parents were both struggling back then, and they did very good to feed me and put clothes on me, and I didn't have a complaint whatsoever until I met the rich kids. And the rich kids made me feel bad because I was wearing blue jeans from a department store. They were all wearing Levi's. And they made fun of me for that. They made fun of me for the shoes. They made fun of me for just picky little things that I didn't really care about until that moment in my life. And it made me feel bad. That's why I went to work early in life, because my parents couldn't afford it. So I started working at the age of 8 years old. I started going out and getting odd jobs so that I didn't have to burden my parents to give me these shoes that I wanted or these jeans that I wanted or whatever was the trend back then. I didn't want my parents to have to be bothered by that, because I saw how hard both of them were working for me and my sister. So I went to work and I started buying things with my own money, which taught me even more valuable lessons than what those rich kids learn. Most of them were born into it, and they had a business waiting for them after high school that they could walk into. I didn't have that. A lot of you don't have that. What we have to do is we have to get out in the workforce and go get a job and start working at things that we necessarily don't like, but we have to do it because we have bills and we have things we have to do. Are they lucky? Was I jealous? Yes. Were they lucky? Yes and no, because they don't learn the true value of money, I don't think. They just take it for granted. You and I have to go out and pursue it. And that's different. And we learn more and we become stronger as a person. Whereas I don't think if today half of them lost everything, they would not survive. They would not know how to do what you and I have been through. Now, I'm assuming that you are in the workforce and you're out there working, and I commend you for that. But if you're a trust fund baby and you've been given millions of dollars for nothing, more power to you. I'm not going to put you down for that either. I'm just going to say you've got more responsibility to do what's right. To me, the real definition of a winner is somebody who doesn't give up. Somebody who keeps building and growing and working towards what they want. Just because you're low on money doesn't mean you're a loser. You're a winner because you're not giving up and you're chasing and pursuing what you want out of life. Money does not make you a winner. Your mindset, your efforts, your persistence, your attitude, and your kindness are what make you a winner. So temporary setbacks and monetary setbacks, the number in your bank account doesn't equal your worth. And you are not your job. Your job is just a tool for you to use to get where you're trying to go. So just remember that. Money comes and goes, and it has its ups and downs, and for somebody to make fun of you or make you feel less than is wrong. That is wrong. Don't ever do that. Don't ever put somebody else down because they have less than you do. You don't know what their situation is. You don't know what choices they are stuck with. You don't know what kind of atmosphere they grew up in. All of us are trying to get to a point where we want to go. I want to be a voice that helps. That's one of the reasons why my channel is here. I want to be a help and bring forth things that come to mind that can help both you and me, because I learn more from you. One of the things that's great about doing this YouTube is the comments. I learn more from you guys than I do anything else, because you guys have been through struggles and challenges and ups and downs that I haven't. You've been in a different situation. Maybe there's something in my situation that I grew up through that might help you. And I know there's things that you've been through that will help me. So iron sharpens iron. That's why I'm doing this. Bottom line is, your net worth is not your real worth. So when people look down on you for not having, don't let it make you feel bad. You're not a loser. You're a winner. They just don't see it. They're blinded by their own pile of money or false sense of reality that they're living in. So keep going, do the best you can with what you've got, wherever you're at, and I will see you guys on the next one.